from the touchline, particularly the manager and Sol Bamba, and I think that's great because the players have got absolutely no excuse for not being prepared, not knowing what their jobs and assignments are. The manager, careful as the ball comes over here again. That's fine. We're okay. Ash will go and rescue that. Yeah, I think there's no excuse for the players because they are so well prepared by the management team.
Yeah, and the momentum that they're getting, you know, they've had not many defeats in the last 5, which means they're building momentum, and it's going to be important going into the end of the season. It
is, and that's why Friday was so important, because it was a gut punch, a sucker punch, what happened in the derby. That could have affected us for 2 or 3 games. It didn't. The management team did a great job. The players did a great job. Get their heads back on the game. Important result. Let's build on it today. Well,
let's see. Well, we caught up with Zabri after the winning match on Friday, and 2 of the goal scorers, Joe Rowles and Connor Wickham.
When I came 2 months ago, the situation was critical, and before this game in this place was not easy for the people to think we come here and to win in this way. So congratulations for the team. Now we need to get some rest, just after tomorrow and Monday. We will enjoy Easter time with our fans against Sunderland. I hope will be another great result. But like I told you, I'm so happy for the massive result. I'm not so happy for the way we play and the personality we put on the pitch with the ball. But I saw determination, the desire to keep the result and to fight. So this is really, really positive.
Nice, obviously, to get on the score sheet today and help the boys get a win. Obviously, we've done brilliant first half, really clinical. Two boys up front were superb for us, and yeah, managed to see out in the second half. Not pretty, but got the job done, and it's a great win for us.
I owed it to the fans this week, and to the players, the staff, and the club really. But yeah, I don't think it was a great performance, but you know, we got what we needed from it today. The most important thing was the 3 points, and the boys dug into the very end. We know that we can do better, but as I said, the most important thing today was the result.
I don't know if you remember the first week or the second week I said about my captain is man of the club, a big heart. So I'm so surprised. I'm so surprised about his attitude. So professional. He like this club. He like Cardiff. Is unbelievable.
Becoming more and more of a senior player, you know, the transition's been different. When you've been at a club for so long, you know, you have a transition like that. I've got Sol in there now, who I was, you know, a teammate with. You know, I love being here first and foremost, and to captain this club's, you know, a massively proud moment for me. Obviously, I would have hoped for a better season this year, but listen, we're in the situation we are, and all we can do now is stick together and get ourselves out of it, and that's what we're looking to do. And I'll do everything I can on and off the pitch to help the boys do that.
When we look at the results today, the teams around us have won, so it was obviously become even more important without us knowing it. But yeah, it's good to be back in a winning changing room. You know, get that buzz again, and you know, we've got a quick turnaround Monday, and we just need to obviously keep the momentum going. And I think if we just control the game a bit more in the second half, then we'll be fine on Monday night.
Welcome back to Pitchside. Ash has joined me now, and we're going to go over today's teams a little bit more closely for the starting 11s for the Bluebirds and Sunderland. So Bluebirds starting off, the one change since the last outing. What are you making of the starting 11 from Zabri?
I feel quite bad now because I overheard John doing the first segment and completely forgot to tell him I knew the team. But yeah, so we think anyway that Marlon Romeo is actually switching across and is going to go and play as the left wing back, you know, the one experienced full back in this squad. So he's going to switch across and play on his weaker side, so to speak. Philogene will probably play off the right hand side, as he has filled in several times here, you know, most recently of note against Bristol City, and we think Shea Ojo will go and play in a more natural role for him then as the 10 behind the two battering rams up front in Connor Wickham and Sori Kaba. And when we come on to the Sunderland team, as we're about to, in a minute or so's time, the fact that Connor Wickham is able to go again on 2 days rest is going to be of huge importance, because Sunderland have problems at the back.
Well, let's move on to the Sunderland team. So 4 changes since their draw to Hull. What do you make of that?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? I was talking to Phil Smith, actually, who's the local reporter up in Sunderland, covers the team for the Sunderland Echo, and he used to cover for Cardiff City for the Wales Online, and he's just a bit bereft at the moment, to be honest. They've had such a positive opening 2/3 of the season, and it just looks like it's falling away because of injuries, largely more than anything else. They've got a relatively small squad, they've got a very young squad, and they just have run out of options a little bit. I think they were hoping to have Daniel Ballard back for this one. An important centre-back signed from Arsenal in the summer. He's redone his hamstring again, or certainly had a setback in training on Friday. And Luke O'Nien, ultra-experienced defender who's been plugging that gap as a centre-back in recent weeks. He seems to have picked something up as well after those Good Friday fixtures, who isn't there today. So it looks like Trey Hume, naturally a centre-back, is going to slide across and play as naturally a full-back, is going to slide across and play as a centre-back today. Lyndon Gooch will come across and play on his natural side as a right-sided player, but he's not a full-back, he's a winger, so he's dropping back into that defensive line as he's had to fill back up for recent weeks. And Dennis Turkin, fit again after a nasty head clash a few weeks ago, he'll come back in at left-back.
And you mentioned that, a strong start to the season that they had, and it's sort of tailing off now. But some of the stats are almost quite scary to look at, really. Sunderland are the 4th highest goal-scoring team in the Championship, with 57 goals. Cardiff are actually the lowest. So the key for Zabri's team today will be to stop those goals.
Yeah, and it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because you think in the Championship, and Cardiff, we've been having this conversation obviously around Cardiff for years. It's like, if you do not have a 15-20 goal a season striker, and we'll come on to that for Sunderland, then what do? Well, you need to patch together goals from your attacking midfielders. Well, Sunderland have done that with aplomb this season. Ahmed Jallow has been magnificent. Jack Clark's in the form of his life. Patrick Roberts has been brilliant. A player reborn again. They would have had probably a 20-goal a season striker if Ross Stewart hadn't suffered that Achilles injury. They also had Ellis Sims on loan from Everton at the start of the season. He got recalled by the Toffees in January. So that is really what set them back, in the tail end of this season, is they haven't had a focal point of their attack. They don't have one this afternoon, which brings us on to their team news. Joel Gelhardt is a striker. He's not a focal point. He likes to play off somebody. So it looks like this afternoon they might even play with a double false 9 up there in some kind of combination of Jallow through the middle, maybe Jack Clark playing through the middle as well, with Pritchard going out onto the left hand side. It's not ideal by any means, but like we said, those attacking midfielders they do have, if you are able to keep them in the game from a Sunderland perspective, then they do cause problems and they will score goals. From Cardiff's point of view, you look at that as a centre-half trio, you fancy your chances of handling them, it's the movement that's going to cause you the problem.
I mean, the Bluebirds will be taking confidence from the fact that the reverse fixture back in November was a 1-0 win to Cardiff. So they'll be taking confidence from that and the great win on Friday night.
And also one of Cardiff's better performances in recent months as well, that game at Sunderland.
Yeah, it wasn't really a 1-0.
It wasn't, we missed the penalty as well. Can I say that just as Rolsey was walking back? We missed the penalty as well, which wasn't ideal, but it was a really good Cardiff performance on that afternoon. It was the last good Cardiff performance for quite some time, because the form really dropped off a cliff after that. And Friday was hugely important. You look at the bottom of the table. Sabri said it himself. Other than the 12 minutes where we were really clinical, it wasn't a brilliant performance from Cardiff. But my word, it got the job done. And to hold out as well when things got a little shaky in the second half. We've seen Cardiff teams crumble, fold under pressure in recent seasons, and the goal went in and it was a setback, but it didn't really have the negative impact that it could have on this squad. So everyone around the place deserves a huge amount of credit. And
both teams are looking for that win today for different reasons. They're going to be fighting for the win for different reasons. Yeah,
1 win in 9 for Sunderland, and it like I said, it has really fallen away from them. And understandably, when you look at the really young squad they've had, you look at the central midfield area. They're essentially got 4 central midfield options with the experienced Corey Evans, their club captain, out injured. all of them are still France under-20 internationals. You know, there's no experience of first-team football, let alone first-team football in England, let alone first-team football in the Championship week in, week out. They really don't have that in the middle of the park. So they've done incredibly well, you know, on a relatively light budget to piece together a young, really exciting squad of players. And a lot of players like Clark and Roberts, where they've gambled on previous talent and said, well, something's gone wrong for them to have not followed through on the prodigious talent we saw at England age group level, or, you know, substitute appearances off the bench at the Premier League level. And these players haven't kicked on for whatever reason. We'll bring them into the fold and we'll re-energise them. That's exactly what they've done. They've just run out of bodies, unfortunately, and the form's tailed off. But, you know, a run of 1 in 9, but even then there's some good results in there. The one win was against Norwich. They got a 0-0 draw against Burnley a couple of weeks ago. You know, this is going to be a difficult game. They got 2,500 fans who've made a disgusting journey, quite frankly, on a bank holiday down from the northeast. You know, it's got the makings of a really good afternoon of football here.
Yeah, and the Bluebirds are going to, you know, trying to get every point they can. As I mentioned earlier, including this one, 7 games left of the season.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen in recent weeks, you cannot rely on other results in the Championship. You know, things were looking pretty bleak at half-time of Huddersfield Blackburn, you know, 45 minutes ago. That got turned around. We're going to go to Sheffield United next week.
Yeah. Saturday.
You can't rely on results going your way elsewhere. You've got to put a marker down whenever you can to put points on the board, and this is an opportunity against a good, talented young side, albeit one who are out of form at the moment, to really get some points on the board, which means when you go to Bramall Lane next Saturday, when you go to Burnley last game of the season, God forbid it goes that far, you don't have to get results.
Are you expecting a high-scoring game today?
I mean, if you'd have asked me that at any point in the last 6 months, I'd have said no, but there's a zip about Cardiff at the moment. There's a renewed confidence, and as you've said, this is a dangerous Sunderland outfit. They're not perfect by any means. They're patching an 11 together in certain departments, but you hit the nail on the head. They score goals, and they create problems. You know, they're a good attacking outfit, and yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if we see goals. You know, it's not rocket science when you thought they scored. You know, they were involved in an 8-game thriller 2 days ago, but yeah, possibly.
Well, hopefully it'll be a good one. Just a reminder that the game is available to watch worldwide, including in the UK, on Cardiff City TV with your Match Pass. Kick-off is just around the corner.
It will be tough months, but it will be tough not only for Cardiff, but for all teams, because to play 7 or 8 games in 1 month is just wow, unbelievable.
Yeah, play well up there, good win, but even that day, and obviously you can see where they are on the table and some of the results they've had this season, real difficult side, good footballing side, so we're expecting a real tough game, but like I say, we're obviously had a great win today. We've got to recover properly, do all we can over the next couple of days, and we'll be ready for that on Monday.
Yeah, I've got great memories of Sunderland, great memories. I think it's a fantastic club. You know, it was a shame to see them drop out of the Premier League and then obviously drop out of the Championship, and they've come a long way. They're coming back, so you know it's not going to be an easy game by all means. But as I said, I've got the most respect for Sunderland. I think they're a fantastic club.
Rehab, rest, and go again Monday now then?
Yeah, that's it. We'll get home, get rested up in tomorrow, in Sunday, and then we go again Monday, and that's all we can do.
Yeah, got to give them something. You know, we fought back well on Saturday. It was just disappointing in the ending, obviously. I don't want to go too much into that, but we had a chance to respond today in a perfect way with unbelievable amount of support following us up here, you know, on Bank Holiday weekend, which is great, unbelievable away end, and to give them 3 goals and a great performance and a great win to go home with is brilliant. We're going to need them towards the end of the season. We've got massive games coming up, so yeah, great day all round.
Top 5 in association with the Big Yellow Self-Storage Company.
defence from Land. Bryson into the area, fits high, Caliber ahead, what a lovely goal, and it's a first goal in Cardiff colours for Craig Bryson.
Oh, lovely. Really lovely move. It's direct and route one, but there's far more depth football to it. Land with the second ball, just hooks it behind himself. He sees the run of Bryson, and Bryson allows it to drop over his shoulder. He's beyond the last man, just calmly side puts it on the volley beyond Royston.
Bowlers wanted. Short. Now Langley. Start of this game. Ford. Intelligent play. Weston needs a quality cross. It's there. It's there from Langley. 2-0 Cardiff City. Quality all the way from Cardiff City then as they double their lead. Richard Langley with his fourth goal of the season, finishing it off.
Honeyman with the free kick, right footed to the Cardiff area. Nearly down in front of goal and cleared away by Manga to Hoyland near side. He spins away from his marker and plays it down the line. Looking for Zoho, is being chased by Clark Salter and plays it infield. Rolls with a shot! 2-0! What a goal from Cardiff City!
Ruthless cutthroat counter-attack from Cardiff, and that should kill off the game. Brilliant stuff. You'll notice, if you watch the replay of that from the set piece, Junior Hoyland is just called over by Neil Warner, who says, actually, come further forward, stay up, we'll leave two men up top, and that's what brings about the goal. The ball drops to Junior Hoyland in a dangerous position, just inside the Cardiff half, and he immediately plays an early ball to Zoho down the line. It gives Zoho a chance to turn Clark Salter, head towards the edge of the area, and then keeps his composure as he rolls it into the path of an unmarked Joe Rolls, who's broken from midfield and tucks the ball home left-footed.
So for the first time since November the 26th, Cardiff lead 2-0 in a game.
Good evening, welcome to Cardiff City TV.
What a finish, what a goal!
Good afternoon, welcome to Cardiff City TV. Welcome to the Cardiff City Stadium, where the lay of the land feels very, very different than it did at full time of that Derby Day defeat just 8 days ago. That reversal of fortunes away at Blackpool on a very, very Good Friday has made things far more palatable at the bottom of the championship table. You wouldn't go as far as saying that it's now one team from 4 or 5, but certainly things look far, far more difficult for both Wigan and Blackpool, courtesy of results 3 days ago. And Cardiff's chances of staying in this division look far healthier. Sunderland, the visitors this afternoon, to what should be a really busy Cardiff City Stadium, not least because on this bank holiday Sunderland have brought over 2,500 fans southwards. A remarkable achievement given the journey and the bank holiday. Sunderland in a bit of a rut themselves, just one win in their last 9 after a really positive first, well, 2/3 really of the season that had put them firmly back in playoff contention. That seems to have ebbed away somewhat off the back of those results. The Bluebirds looking to protect a good recent record against the Black Cats. They've won each of the last 3 visits, including November's away reverse fixture. 1-0 at the Stadium of Light. Mark Harris on the score sheet that afternoon. We await the arrival of the two teams here this afternoon. There are changes in both camps, given the quick turnaround in games. We'll run you through the two sides in due course. But for the Bluebirds, it's now about a bit of momentum. Sheffield United up next Saturday, early afternoon kickoff. But here this afternoon, the two teams of Cardiff City and Sunderland being led out by captains for the day. For Cardiff City, Ryan Wintle, and for Sunderland, Danny Batt. To reiterate, Cardiff with 3 straight wins in this fixture, but just 1 of the last 4 at home have seen us claim all 3 points, and Sabri Ramushi has made a change from the win at Blackpool. We think Marlon Romeo is swapping flanks to play as a left wing back this afternoon. Jayden Philogene will continue on the right-hand side of the midfield unit, and Shea Ojo comes in to play as the 10 behind the strike duo, Sorry Cabra and Corey Wickham. Captain Joe Rolls drops to the bench as a result. There's changes as well for Sunderland, 4 in total. It's a patched up unit, to say the least. Short of centre halves, so full-back Try Hume will slide across to play in the middle of the defence. Dennis Churchin comes in to play at left back. Abdullah Bar is in the 11. We think he might play on the right of the midfield unit, and the forward line will be a combination of Amar Jallow and potentially Jack Clark, the 2 of which are having outstanding individual seasons. Delighted to say, I'm joined as ever by Conor Pearce to my left-hand side. Conor, both of us sat out Friday's win at Blackpool. How foolish do we feel now?
Very foolish. Everyone seems to have had a lovely weekend in the sun. And although we've had a good Easter here in South Wales, it was great to see the 3 points by the seaside. Really, really important chance this for Cardiff City. With that early result, Huddersfield Town being clawed back to a 2-2 draw. What a chance this is to get 3 points on the board and put a